What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, and you already know what time it is. It is the Affairs of the Heart podcast, live recording. I don't know, whatever we're calling it in this season. Who knows? But, we're here, and we're so glad that we can be here. Let's bring in the crew. Aaron is here. SoDebNair is here, as he likes to be called on this podcast, and not Aaron. I'm sorry. EzSaidEzDone is here.
Come on, multiple personalities.
Says EzSaidEzDone.
That's the one.
Well, I mean, Easy Said and Easy Done could be two different people. You could be Easy Done or you could be Easy Said.
It's a first and last name. Let's not do this today. Y'all know already. We ain't even got into nothing yet.
I'm not, I don't take sides. I just control the panel. So, hey, fellas, what's going on? Happy Thursday.
Hey.
Yes, happy Thursday.
Absolutely. It's been a week. We're here.
Was there something there?
No. Listen, the more I do YouTube stuff, the more I realize how exhausting that it is. And so I'm here, It's been a week.
I thought maybe we need to call you down to the altar. I didn't know what was going on.
Listen. So listen, if you're just joining us, or if you are on Facebook joining us, make sure that you go into the description and you look for the link to give Facebook permission to share your comments. Otherwise, you will pop up, if you make a comment, you will pop up as a Facebook user. And we want to make sure we highlight you, make sure we shout you out if you make a relevant comment. So make sure you click the link and give Facebook permission to share your likeness. And it's real quick steps. It's in the description above. Click that for us and join the conversation. So, Aaron, we have a lot of guests with us tonight. You want to introduce who's here?
Is this the only one still here right now?
No, the other person is here as well. So.
All right. So if you guys saw the title of this podcast, it's called Married to Ministry. And as some of you guys know, in my former life, I was a first gentleman. And so I brought some of my first gentleman friends to hang out with us today to have a good time. So first up, you guys probably saw him before on the show, BJ. And then we also have Damian Parks. These guys are both currently in ministry at this point.
Hello, fella.
He said at this point. Okay.
They're operating in those things.
They're in ministry right now as we speak. They're in ministry.
Yes, they're finna minister to everyone.
So you're trying to get. So either one of them can lay hands on me. Is that what you're saying?
They can.
Okay, gotcha. Just to make sure.
In the presence of my husband, who is the pastor.
Hey, Pastor. It's all right. Good to see you. Good to see you here. We're glad to have you, gentlemen. Welcome. You might remember BJ's face. He filled in when Easy and I were absent. So we're so glad that we could be here with you and experience your non-sensory.
Nonsense.
Because I know it's coming. I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
I am too. I prayed and I got my oil and everything.
So. Now let's be clear. There are people on this panel that knew you before they knew you. So you know.
Look, as long as yours stay with you, mine stay with you.
All right, fellas, we're so glad that you could join us tonight. We are going to jump right in because we already have a curfew. We are not going to be on here for 2 hours. We want to make that very clear. So you want to start with the letter that we have, Aaron, just to give some time, or you want to save it?
We can do that. We could do that. But before we do that, if you guys are on YouTube, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, comment below, let us know what you guys are thinking. Stay in the chat. Also turn notifications so that you guys know when we are posting new videos as well. If you're on Facebook, please go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe as well. But yeah, we can do the letter first.
Stay in the chat. All right.
Come on, chat.
That'll minister to me. Stay in the chat. Hallelujah. Since we going to church with the first gentleman. Our first letter, our letter for today is going to come from an anonymous person. So he says, "Dear Affairs of the Heart, I was invited to be someone's date for Valentine's Day. Let's call him Tony. And to make an entire day of fun. He calls me at 9 a.m. The morning of Valentine's Day and asked if I wanted to have brunch also. I agreed. After brunch, Tony tells me he has other plans for the rest of the day and I should go home and play video games and that he will talk to me on Tuesday." Wait, what? Let me read that again, just to make sure we're clear.
Just for the saints in the back. Just
Please.
Right. For those that are in the back that didn't hear me well, Tony says, "Let's go to brunch." I agreed. After brunch, Tony tells me that he has other plans for the rest of the night and I should go home and play video games and that he'll talk to me on Tuesday. I asked Tony why the plans changed and he responded, "I'm tired and I want to go to sleep." What do you think my response should be to Tony, and should I be offended?
And let's just note that Valentine's Day was on Sunday.
Right.
He wanted to talk to him on Tuesday.
I was there. Wait.
You got to get into the context clue, you know. You got to read the whole chapter, not just the one verse. Okay. So, yikes.
I'm gonna go ahead and start right here.
Okay, yeah, please, Easy. Go ahead and start for all of us, because I am not at home, obviously, and I can't. I'm not. So you please drink for me.
Okay.
So does anybody want to take this first?
I'll go.
Okay. All right.
There were a lot of red flags in this letter for me. There was a lot because the guy kind of made plans with him. Then he kind of like made it like it was going to be a lot more, but then kind of doubled back on what he wanted to do with them. So it's almost like he was already kind of changing his mind about this date for Valentine's Day. The part that kind of concerned me was, why did he give him specific instructions on what he should do while not going on this date?
Go home and play video games. And I'll call you too.
I'm like, out of all the things in the world you could tell me to do is go home and play video games, and like you're telling me that this is what I need to do. And then that last part about this from Sunday to Tuesday, we want to take a break from here. So to me, it just sounds like he's really not that interested in him. And he wanted to test the waters out with the brunch, and the brunch may not have went well for him. So he said, hey, you know, because the other thing that he said that was kind of mismatched was he had plans, but then his plans was to go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there on Aaron. I think something happened at brunch that turned Tony all the way off.
Yeah, I think something happened before that because he called him to kind of reschedule everything before they went on the original date.
I got a different approach.
Okay.
I think you can tell that the two are not in like an actual relationship. So this is more like a situational shit or something. Maybe they're getting to know each other, and there were no plans to be held on either part. So they were like, let's do this together. Cool. But I honestly think something happened Saturday night. Maybe he got a phone call or a text message to spend the day with this person he really wanted to really spend it with. And then to make nice, hey, let's have brunch. Like, let's move our stuff up. So he goes to brunch, spends the time with him, and then like he's got to cut him off at some point in time because he's got to go spend it with who he really wants to spend it with. And then this may be a little vulgar, but I'm thinking the whole separation of by day, he probably got his back broken in. And he gonna need some time to to get his things back in order.
Mhm.
So that's leave me Monday to rest, and I'm gonna hit you back up on Tuesday. That's just where my mind went to.
Okay.
Like maybe he just not feeling him the way he. I just think there's somebody else in the picture.
Yeah.
So
I think
the real Valentine's Day called the night before and said, "I am available." But let's do something in the evening, and to not keep all your eggs in one basket. You still want to keep the plans with the writer and say, "Hey, we'll still do something, but I'm gonna change the entire." Yeah. Okay. Geez, what y'all think?
You go first,
Go
BJ.
Okay. So it sounds like the first person, their plans changed, which caused the next person's plans to change, which caused the writer's plans to change. So that's like a little bit of a domino effect going on there. Everybody's plans got rearranged a little bit, and like you said, Tuesday you need to have that little bit of a gap there, so you can kind of regroup before you meet back up with the other person. So it gotta come back together again. That togetherness. Hada Boshanda.
Yeah.
That togetherness. That's my thought process. You better than me.
What was it? You need this day.
I'm holding on.
Hold on.
I'm holding on.
You gotta put it back. You gotta put it back together.
Tight. Hold on tight.
Yes, to his unchanging hand.
Come on.
We are not about to do this the whole show.
Look, I may not be a preacher, but I grew up in the church. I know some words.
Come on.
That's not a word. That's a cliche, even though it's true. There's a difference.
Damien, what are your thoughts on it?
I agree with y'all. I do think that the second option, or either the first option, changed their plans, and the writer's plans got changed, and all that stuff. So yeah, I think he was a second option who got dropped off. I hope that this person is not contemplating dating this person again. But as insecure as some of us can be, and as thirsty and desperate, unfortunately, this person will probably go back out with this guy again. So if you're listening, Miss Celia, don't do it. Just don't do it. You deserve better, baby. Don't do it.
Know your worth and add tax.
And you know what's messed up is he probably took that the first option on the original date that he's supposed to take him on. That's why he wanted to be at home playing video games, so he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, because it was Valentine's weekend. Yeah, it was Valentine's weekend, so you already had plans. You made deposits, you made reservations, so you just basically took another person and put them on the other stuff. So yeah.
My.
Well.
Did he ask another question at the very end?
What do you? Yes. He said, "What do you think my response should be to Tony, and should I be offended?"
And yes,
absolutely.
If you're not offended,
that's a problem right there.
I'm offended that you're not offended.
Right.
Yeah. And you don't even need to give a response. Just cut it off.
No.
There's no need to call, text, or give a lengthy paragraph about how you feel. No, just cut it off and keep it moving.
And I think you said something that was really good, Easy. They probably weren't really like dating for real. This is probably like something that they just decided to do. So I don't think you should really have any kind of feelings about it. It just didn't work out,
Yeah, it's a lesson learned. We've all been there.
Yeah. So I think the final word on the advice is to change his name in your phone to The Other Night Why. Go listen to Solange and find another Tony that will give you the time of day. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, writer. And we hope to hear a follow-up from you soon. Thank you, gentlemen, for your input. Let's go to the relationship topics, which are kind of not relationship topics, but kind of are relationship topics. They're they're kind of lengthy
What?
today. So
That's what he said.
first topic.
That part.
What was it like dating leadership in the church? And would you be open to dating someone who is in leadership in church? Now, this is going to be a whole conversation.
Oh God.
So I'm going to ask you to gird your loins,
Posture yourself.
posture yourself. Yes, sir. Posture yourself.
Posture yourself.
And I'm gonna start because I was leadership in church and dated other leaderships in churches and et cetera, et cetera. That's a hard space. It's a very hard space, especially when there is manipulation involved. Because if you have other people that are manipulating the conversation to who you should be dating, oh, they're a good fit for you. And what I find in the affirming churches, everybody's a prospect that is not tied down. So you then decide to float around, and I am only speaking from experience. I can tell my truth. And people influence your thoughts and your ideas as it pertains to people that you date. And you two are the most opposite people that should ever be together ever in life. But the commonality is ministry, and that never should be your commonality when you're looking for someone in a relationship. So to answer the question, what was it like dating? It was tough. It was really tough because you didn't necessarily knew the only commonality that we had was church, and we did that very well. We were masters in ministry, if you will. And so I would not advise dating someone. It takes a very special person to date someone in ministry. It takes a very special person that understands what that looks like. And I really don't understand the attractiveness to some people that go after that particular type of person if they're not even equipped to handle that type of situation. So that's my 2 cents on it.
That last piece you said.
Yeah. That.
He's coming in the Honda.
A big black one.
Okay. So yeah, I don't advise it if you just want the accolades, if you want to be the first G, if you want to be the person on the arm and in the pictures, and and you can't intercede and pray and know your partner for who they are and what they need when it comes to ministry, and vice versa. Don't pick a mate just because they look cute on photos.
Mm-hmm. Wait, where's the little button that you have? Press that for me. Thank you. Press that for me.
I had to give it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to turn it over to the G's and the panel, and you guys can elaborate. I just wanted to share my 2 cents on that.
For mine was a journey, and I think in the beginning I really didn't really know what I was getting into, because I think me coming from the Methodist church is way different from the Pentecostal and Kojic. Is that the same thing? I never really knew. Is that the same thing? No. Well, whatever it is.
Not at all.
Honestly, I don't know. But all I knew was Methodist church my entire life. So that's it.
Yes.
But stepping into that. Oh, go ahead.
H2 is in the building. We just wanted to make sure that he is known that yes, he's listening intently. My brother
minister's in the building.
Yes. But I'm sorry, Aaron. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a questionnaire before you came here today, by the way. But yeah, it was different for me because I didn't know the dynamics of the difference of the churches. And so for me, coming into that and dating a pastor was really hard for me because a lot of people from that type of church didn't feel like I should be dating this person. They told me that there are people who are born and bred to be first gentlemen, although I had never heard of it at that time. And so I got a lot of flack, when I first got into this. I think that
That giggle. I'm sorry.
That took me out. I was trying to hold it.
I'm telling
Go ahead, brother.
No, but that's what happened. Like people really were like, it was a lot when I first got into it. I think as time went on and we started to have our own churches, it got a lot better for me because I related more with the people in the church. And so a lot of the time when they had questions or they were going through things, they would call me first. Because I've been through those things. I've experienced those things, so I can give them a better answer and be more empathetic to the things that they're talking about and feel what they are feeling. Would I do it again? Never. I would never do it again. I probably didn't want to do it the first time, but I think just because of the individual, I was in love, so I did it. But I would never do it again. I mean, after we broke up, a million pastors thought I was their next first gentleman. And I'm like, sir, under no circumstances, there are no possibilities that I'm dating another pastor. So yeah, no.
Yes, a million.
You can imagine my inbox.
Yes, I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite sure I can guess about 10 of them that was in there.
You
But anyway,
probably can. You probably can.
To the married first gentlemen that are here, what are your thoughts on the question?
Go ahead, BJ. I got too much to say, so you may as well go.
Coming from, previous relationships not being church-based, and then meeting my husband and learning that he was in leadership, and then for me, coming from a Pentecostal apostolic church, going into a non-denominational church where you had a body of members from all different, what's the word I'm looking for? Denominations. It was different. It was definitely different. It didn't bother me. What bothered me is the title. Everybody wants this glorified title. Everyone wants to be this first gentleman. But then y'all don't want to put in the work. You can't just be sitting on the front row of a church on a Sunday in your good suit and them good shoes, and you want to shout and dance and look pretty while you're doing it, but then you don't want to go home and put in the work. That's what I never kind of understood for me personally. See, for me, with my husband being in ministry, being a leader, and he wasn't the pastor of the church, he was the associate pastor, the minister of vitality of that particular church. There was a first gentleman. That's you. You got that, boo. That's all you. But for me, being married to, I never can really classify myself as a first G. That just came along with being married to someone who was ordained in the ministry. But for me, a lot of people just saw it as a glorified title, and they didn't really know how to do the work that come along with it. So for me, it wasn't hard. It wasn't challenging. It's just like any other relationship. To me, you just got to learn how to navigate and go with the flow of things.
Izzy, did you have a comment? I didn't mean to bypass you by going to the guests, by the way.
Oh, no.
He's just like, I ain't touching that. Okay.
This is a question I don't think I can really give an opinion on. I've never been in that type of situation before. I came close, but we're not. Don't worry about it. It was messy, and it was no.
I guess I'll go next. So let me just say that before Pastor, I actually dated a couple of guys who were in ministry. And let me say a few guys in ministry, because grew up in a traditional missionary Black Baptist church in the South, sang in a choir, sang in a community choir and a music ministry. So I'm connected to church at all ends, right? So you're just surrounded by church people. And so, all the closet gays, all the DL pastors. I went through the thing of dating two married men. One of them was a pastor. It was just a whole lot of, look at you, your eyes got big, Aaron. So I did all of that crap in my 20s. So when I finally left music ministry, you know, I've always been in church, so I'll never leave church. I'm not. I feel like I have enough faith to understand that God is my salvation and not the church and the people in it. So I left a lot of things.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, but
I
you
left a
said
lot
something.
of church foolishness behind, but I'll never leave God. Okay. So, but in meeting my husband, I had gone through about maybe 7 or 8 years where I refused every dude that looked like, if you look like you play drums in the church, I didn't want nothing to do with you. Right. So fast forward to 8 years ago, met my husband actually via Facebook on Aaron's ex-husband's page. We go into a conversation. Aaron's ex suggests that we take this to an inbox. In fact, he said, okay, y'all get off my page and take this to an inbox. So I inboxed him, and here we are 8 years later. So believe it or not, I have Aaron's ex to thank for my husband. So, but yeah, so I advise you seeking out like those and Aaron has told his story before, and I've heard people that say that they're actually like they're born and bred. We didn't even know what a first G was until about 10 years ago. So give me a freaking break. So there was no such thing. And part of my problem is that we have tried to take the first gentleman role to mimic the first lady role. And I resent that more than anything about being a first gentleman. That's the thing that pisses me off the most, is because kudos and props to every first lady out there, because believe me, we probably are the closest thing to having an idea of what you go through, but nobody really has an idea what a first lady goes through. So you more so have absolutely no clue about what a first gentleman goes through, on top of the scrutiny of being a gay couple. We have to deal with all the rest of the foolishness too. So, but to say that you're grooming yourself for that, this is not a calling. So God doesn't sit up and ordain the first gentleman. It's not a position that you have to pray and lay on your face for. So save me for your foolishness. You have no idea what you're asking for. And he was absolutely right in saying that it's more than, like what BJ says, it's more than just you showing up and sitting on the front pew and trying to look cute, which is why I'm sorry to say, but that's how I have for the relationships. It's only 2 or 3 of us sitting here right now, because a lot of y'all just wanted to be cute, look cute in your suit, and you want to sit on the front and cross your legs and be an arm piece. And there is more to this than that. So, yep, I said that. Don't take it back. So believe me, when you come to the sanctuary, you'll be looking for first G. If you're looking for me in a suit, where is he? There he is, down there in that hoodie and some jeans.
Come on, that's
what you get. Because it's not about that. You miss ministry trying to look the part. We're so busy trying to look the part, we don't actually know what church and ministry looks like. So pastor might be in a suit, but me, if I don't feel like I hadn't had on a tie in 3 years. So I mean, I'm not, that's not what it's about. So there's so much more, and we're missing people trying to keep up an image that really doesn't exist. So yeah.
And stuck on the grooming part.
The grooming, there's no grooming.
Stuck on the grooming part. I didn't know that.
The grooming part. I mean, are you grooming me to be an actual human being? Are you grooming me to be a Christian? Those are the 2 things that you should be groomed to do. Now, you do need to have an understanding that being married to ministry does mean that there are certain things that you can't do, say, places you shouldn't go. We know what those things are, and I can't draw them on a line. It's a blurred line, but you got to do what's best for you and yours. If like my husband, me talking about I'm going to so-and-so's birthday party, they're going to have strippers there. What? For me to be caught on Instagram or Facebook somewhere in a video, putting $1 down inside his G-string, I mean, come on, that's not going to happen. So you got to know what your limitations are. Like, does everybody know that First G likes red wine? If you ever need to send me a basket, it's red wine. So those type of things, but you got to figure out what your line is, know what your mate expects from you, and they need to know what to expect from you. Ramel doesn't put me on any kind of, thankfully, pedestals where I can be myself. Like I'm Damien first. Like you can call me First G all day long, but I am Damien. I don't lose my personality or my attitude or who I am or my me by trying to be First G. Like that's not gonna happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So.
Question.
Yes, sir.
because the comment that you made about, you won't be caught or you won't be associated around or in that scenery of like strippers.
No, I didn't say. I said I wouldn't be seen.
Seen, yes. So how do you
There's a difference.
I just answered your question. I know it.
No. This is what I was going at. But how do you feel about those pastors who are and who do kind of let themselves be shown in that light?
That's on you. Like I just said. I mean, how you have to draw your line. You have to figure out what does and doesn't work best for you. Be prepared for the repercussions, because we know number one, there's a level of hypocrites out there. But then number two, your thoughts, beliefs, all of those things, it's a blurred line. So, you just have to do what works for you all. And if it's okay for you all to be seen, or for one of your first gentlemen, or even a pastor to be seen at a party with a stripper or whatever, that's no shade. I just actually came up there at the top of my head. So if there's some pastor out there putting $1 down a dish string, believe me, I don't even know you. But
they in Atlanta.
Well, I figured that, but but I'm just saying, like, it's I just know what's okay for my husband and myself, and honestly, like, it's not just because he's a pastor; it's because that's his personality. This is mine, and for us as a couple, regardless of the mantle, there are certain things that are just not for us, And my husband's an introvert, believe it or not. Like, he's pastor, but he's an introvert, and it's just like you said earlier, he's like, I'm the one that everybody comes to first. Like, they come to you and ask the questions first, because first of all, I'm like, he ain't so busy. He right over there. What you calling me for? That's how I feel sometimes, but I don't do that. I mean, everybody knows that I'm open. It's cool.
I think that people have to realize, for like when we had our church was.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. The husband.
Baby, trust me, he over here screwing every word.
he likes to wear hoodies too. He don't wear suits all the time.
No, he doesn't.
Hey, Romeo.
Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of people, for like my situation was, we were like the first affirming church in Ohio at that time. So literally, like when we first started dating, probably like before that, I was in the club. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things that you're not supposed, that they don't think you're supposed to do, I was doing all that stuff. But that also actually is what grew the church, because people felt like I was more relatable and I was trustworthy. They could trust me because I was a part of this. And so that was a lot of conflict for us, because it just wasn't the norm for the type of church that he was a part of at that time. And so it came to a point where it was like, well, why does everybody keep coming to you and talking to you about things? And I'm like, well, I mean, they can relate to me, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was one of the best things for me, even coming into it, getting all of the backlash that I was getting, because people didn't feel like I was worthy enough to be a first gentleman at the time. Having the people that were coming to our church clinging to me more than anything, I thought that was like one of the best parts for me.
All right. The topic, I mean, the comments rather have been very steadily on this topic. Let's see here. It's not about the looking part, but doing the work that's right there. I am very judgmental. I don't want to see my pastor in a strip club.
Pasta.
I mean, that's fine. I will visit him with my Bible, the scriptures, baby, the scriptures. Okay.
Can I respond to that? Please let me respond. So I halfway appreciate the statement. And I say halfway is because, for one thing, we also have to be careful. And we have seen this at least in the last 10 years alone. Pastors are human beings, and we have got to get away from trying to put them on these mantles that are supposed to be unflawed. They're supposed to be the supreme beings, and as soon as he bats an eyelash in the wrong direction or looks at the same thing you looking at, then it's a problem. If you handle what was going on in your own life as much as you try to handle what happens with a pastor, we would all get to glory in such a much better state than that.
I'm sorry.
And again, it does not mean that the pastor is not held accountable for his actions, but you all put these unobtainable measures on ministry people, but especially pastors. Now, do I really want to see my pastor in the strip club? Either no, but you talking about coming to him with the Bible, that's a 0 as it stands right there. Now, mind you, my husband tells you all the time, do your research, come and ask me questions, question me about what I preach, but you can't come at him being combative and want to argue with him about his personal life outside of that. You got to go back and rethink that. I don't think you understood what you, and no shade to the person that posted, but I think we should reassess the mantle that we try to put ministry people on. We're still human beings. Because I'm still First G. I'm actually a minister as well. I'll still drink my red wine. I'm still known to cuss you out. All of those things, and yet saved. You're not gonna take my salvation from me. I'm yet saved.
And can still pray for you.
And still pray for you. Do you know how many fools I pray for?
Ebony says it means stop minding his business.
Exactly. Thank you, Ebony.
Let's see. Some, not all men in leadership are way too arrogant. I couldn't deal with the holier than thou mindset. Give me a regular man that loves God and serves the community without a title.
That's nicely said.
I'll give you that.
Very well said. Very well said, gentlemen. Let's go to our next topic, because I don't even know if this is my relationship at this point. Is the Black church holding Black people back? Are you being equipped with enough to get ahead, or enough so that the church gets ahead? Oh God. Okay, listen, before we even get into this topic, because I feel like this is going to be an entire situation.
You need a whole nother show for that.
I'm giving it at max 10 minutes, because this is such a loaded question, and I think Aaron knew what he was doing when he sent this question.
I just asked people
so many
stuff and they
angles.
gave me questions. That's all I did.
So 10 minutes on this question. Is the Black church holding Black people back?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we all in agreement.
We don't even need the 10 minutes. There you go. I think it's honestly the mindset. I have been really intrigued with the mindset of believers in the late 80s and early 90s. And the reason that I picked that particular time frame is because that was Reaganomics, that was buy now, pay later. That was a very economic crisis time within the Black community. And I think that people, including one of my family members, mentally thought, well, I'm saved, I'm a believer, I believe in Christ, Christ is going to fix it, God is going to do it. And their mental capacity affected their ability to be able to even just live a regular everyday life. So with that being said, I think that the Black church has a lot of work to do. You know, we need a focus on mental health for that very reason. With the difference between mental and spiritual, right. The difference between common sense and spirituality. Mm-hmm. I think the Black church deserves the LGBTQIA+ community a humongous apology.
I agree.
For mishandling and mistreating and misappropriating us in the community and shaming us for something that had nothing to do with us at all. I think these are just areas we owe women. The Black church owes women an apology, where you use them to gain and purpose and mind wash and manipulate them to think that they need to be this pure, holier than thou type of person that is not obtainable. And why is it that we need the women to be pure, and when they do something wrong, you have to stand in front of the church and apologize, but we don't hold the men to the same standard? Those are areas where, in fact, I do believe that the Black church is holding Black people back in grave numbers and grave areas. But does anybody else want to add anything else? sorry. It's a soapbox for me because you know how I feel about church.
Yeah, you did.
I think
did
I think that they're just stunning in their growth. Like it's like they stopped at a certain point and they won't grow past whatever they were taught, what Big Mama and them taught them. Like it's almost like the pastor is not even the pastor, because what Big Mama told them to go to church at is where they go to church at. And so whatever things that she's taught them, like it's kind of like just stuck in their heads. They don't know how to get past that. I think that now we're going to start seeing a lot different, because as you see, a lot of these kids are not going to church because they don't believe it. Someone, y'all probably gonna laugh at this, but a lot of people, I saw a post a few years ago and they were saying it's crazy because more people will follow Beyonce than will follow the church. And I said the reason why is because it's a sense of love to them. You know, her message don't spread hate in certain points of their life. So you have to understand that fact of why they feel like that. When it comes to the church, it depends on where you go, what you're gonna get. And none of it is like coincides with the other one. And a lot of people are so confused with it, they're just not going. And I remember at this point, it's almost like you just have to have your own relationship with God at this point.
Yes.
And whatever the church is going to give you, like, go for a time. The last time I went to church, the pastor preached a message saying the church is like a hospital. And I was like, y'all know I was always trying to get out of going to church. So I was like, oh, this is God talking to me right here. This is like a church. I'm not sick every week. Every Sunday, I'm not sick. So I went with the pastor. He said, is that what you got? I said, yes, I'm not sick every Sunday. Why do I have to be here every Sunday? I don't need the hospital every week. And he said, if that's what God gave you, then, you know, you have to do what God is speaking to you. And I never probably went back after that.
If I may for just a second, first and foremost, Big Mama's gone now. And with Big Mama being gone now, Big Mama did everything she could when she was alive to keep her offspring, her children in the church. Mm-hmm. And some of them have strayed. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to church like they used to. Mm-hmm. So because they're not going to church like they used to, their children and grandchildren are not going to church like they used to. So, you know, I agree with everything that's been said. I feel like, yes, the church is holding us back as a community and as people tremendously. But a lot of things have changed. And I mean, a lot of us here today are probably like, yeah, when this whole pandemic has died down and we're finally able to go back into the church, you know, I can't wait to get back in the church. But it's a lot of people who's not thinking nothing about the church.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I love what he said about the Big Mama concept, because, you know, that's huge in Black people, period, but especially in the church. And the thing that we don't like to say, because we don't like to go in against anything that our elders said, but there's two parts of this. One, Big Mama wasn't right about everything. We don't like to say that, but the truth of the matter is she was not right about everything, but she did the best that she could with what she had available in a time frame that is 50, 60, sometimes 80 years different from what we're dealing with now. So the problem is that we keep trying to live in biblical times, so that's stupid. So if that were the case, do you know, a lot of us wouldn't be here. There's a whole lot of biblical, you know, facts that were there that were for a particular people at a particular time. So can you imagine if the Bible is like that? Can you imagine that our seniors, our elders, you know, what happened in their time? We can take what they had and glean from that, but to try to live my life in 2021 based off of what my grandparents experienced back in 1925. How ignorant does that sound? So we have to progress. God did not stop speaking at amen at the end of Revelation. He didn't stop speaking. He's continuing to talk. And he's talking to me in 2021 terms versus what Big Mama was trying to hold into. So to me, that's the part of that the Black church is being held back. A part of the question that I also kind of thought maybe, especially part of that, are you being equipped enough to get ahead or enough so that the church gets ahead? And I think somebody posted it. It's like, you know, the church will rob you of your time and your talents and your money. But what I will say to people is, like, the answer is not, I'm just not going to ever go to church again. Find a safe space, because in my heart, I believe that we all need a spiritual connection. I do think that we need a community in order to help enhance that. It's not enough to just watch it from home from time to time, just when you feel like it. And these are my beliefs. If you're agnostic or atheist, then fine. I don't have a problem with that. But for those of us who consider ourselves Christian, I encourage us to connect to safe Black churches. If you have to go, to an all Black church or whatever, there are safe havens that are out there. Affirming churches don't get enough grace and understanding. First of all, because Black folks feel like, if it ain't a church that's got a Hammond B3 and we ain't running around running into each other into the wall and sliding and snobbing all over the floor, then we ain't had church. And that's part of our problem, is that we're used to having church, but we do not know what a spiritual experience or a spiritual connection really is. So hopefully, after this pandemic and churches open back up, for those of you who are watching, and I imagine 90% of you are probably LGBT, find yourself an affirming church, connect to one online. You watching stuff from online anyway. Watch church from online. We have virtual access at our church. So if you need it, get there. But stop trying to live in latter terms. We're not living in biblical days. It's not that we discard the Bible, but we're not living in biblical days. So stop.
That's an altar call right there.
I mean, what else is there to say?
Brother. You did that.
I'm sorry.
The one thing I will add to that, because in some of the comments, some people are saying that that not all Black churches are equal. This is Ellis, who says that all Black churches are not equal. Nobody can hold you back unless you allow it. Now, let's be clear: we're not creating the Black church is not a monolith. Yeah. They're not a monolith. It's not. We're speaking as a whole, as a conglomerate. And I will say that there are, you just have to be selective, even if you decide to go to an affirming ministry.
Absolutely.
Some of them are just as worse as the traditional ones.
Because they just mimic what they saw from before. So yeah.
They're trying to reinvent the wheel, and the wheel doesn't need to be reinvented. So let's go ahead and move on to what y'all are all really here for. Next topic.
My husband log off. Hold on.
Okay.
So you go ahead and log off too. I don't have to call you. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you right here. Baby, log off.
Right. This is your exodus. Right.
Pastors, this is your time to, if you don't want to hear the conversation, I guess you, as your husbands have declared, it's time to log off. The first sex question for the night is, do y'all think it's sexual harassment if someone touches your ass in the club? Do you think it's sexual harassment if someone touches your ass in the club?
Only when they're unattractive.
That's funny. See,
they get a pass.
God night or good night. Okay,
right. Both of them.
See,
both of them.
See,
right.
And what I love is that they were both right on time. They just came right on in when they needed to. One said a good night, the other one said, "I'm grown and I want to hear this conversation."
Trust me.
Do y'all think it's sexual harassment if someone touches your ass in a club? Easy says only if you're unattractive.
No, I don't think so.
Not in the club. I think we know what the pretense is when you walk in the door. Come on, you know what you're there for. Now, if you do it again after I told you not to, or you told me not to, then that's harassment.
That's a different story, yeah.
But this is it's basically hello. How you doing?
So let's take this a step further. Someone grabs your ass in the club. What is your response?
Now I'm with easy.
Come on over. Just come on over.
With easy. Like, wait a minute now.
I'll just be caught off guard. I mean, it's just like, oh, did you really just do that? Oh,
wait a minute now, BJ. We need to give this disclaimer. This is pre-marriage. We're not talking current.
Still the same thing. Like, okay, that's what you just did that.
Right. This is pre. Okay. Yeah.
My response will be, don't play with your food. Why are you don't do that? Don't do that.
I don't see you saying that for real.
No, you don't see me saying it?
Don't play with your food. Somebody gonna touch you on the ass and you gonna say don't play with your food.
Don't play with your food. I've said it many a times. Now, the caveat is if you get to eat or not, but don't play with it.
Teasing the people. Teasing the people.
Yeah, wow. That doesn't mean that you're invited to my buffet, but you might go to somebody else's. Mark says, if you grab me, I will return the same energy. Be ready. Yeah.
Now that's like reverse harassment, but okay.
Aaron, do you? I mean, SoDebNair, if somebody grabs your ass in the club, which I'm sure it has happened.
We know we know it's been grabbed several times.
And I'm sure it will happen again. Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen again.
You don't know.
What is your response?
It's almost like having a handshake to me at this point in my life. It's like, I didn't see anything really wrong with it. The reason why I put this on here was because this was on Twitter, and a lot of people were feeling like this is actual sexual harassment. And I'm like, I never even thought of, like, am I getting sexually harassed when I'm out? Like, I was confused. Like, I just don't know. And so I just wanted to see, I think a lot of people that are on Twitter are a lot younger as well. And so they're coming from, so maybe that's what it was. But I was just like, I've never been out before and somebody like, grab me by the waist or, touch my ass. And I've been like, let me call the cops because I'm getting harassed.
If that's the case, do you know I should have been called Stabler and Benson because they should like. Right.
I could be rich right now.
SVU. Yeah, I'm just saying. And you already know I used to be a club promoter, so that shit just happened. But like I said, I just feel a different type of way when it's someone unattractive. Then it's a problem. Like, nigga, have you lost your mind?
Or even if someone who just keeps on doing it after you guys to stop, then it becomes a problem.
That's what I said. That's the problem. Yeah. But I think we've become so we want to be so PC till we take stuff to the extreme. Yeah. Like the Christmas song a couple of years ago, "Baby It's Cold Outside," and now what was the thing I read the other day? The movie Grease, they're saying it's misogynistic and patriarchal, and so they want to stop production or re-showing of Grease. Grease is like 40-year-old movie with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. I'm like, are you this bored and don't have anything else to do? Of course they are. So PC is going to a whole other level on some stuff. So,
Carl flipped the question for us for the panel. If it's unwarranted, yes. Is it different if someone grabs your penis?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Yep, because we are men, and my penis is my private, and this is the territory that I'm going to control. Now you can bump me on the ass, but if you grab my trunk, it's me and you, bro.
You have to realize how awkward that is, though. Like for someone to just walk up to you and grab you by your, like that's very odd. It's uncomfortable. Like I do feel like I've been sexually harassed at this point. Like,
absolutely.
What made you decide to go there?
No,
I just think it's interesting that we have different respects for our asses and our penises.
Yeah. Okay, Donald Trump now,
Right, I'm thinking that too.
I mean, come on.
But there are people that do that in the club where they just think it's okay to come up to you and grab you in any form or fashion for that matter, but let alone grab you by the So,
but I'm gonna tell you why I feel like that's different. Because let's say we're at the club and we're dancing. Most guys don't walk up to you and be like, "Hey, can we dance?" Like they just kind of start grinding up behind you or whatever. Grabbing my dick would just be a lot different. Like I don't even understand the logic of how this would be something that you thought was okay.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So like, I mean, dancing behind someone, the ass is going to touch something. But the whole if not, go ahead, Pooh. Go home. It's time to go home.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I think society has told us that penis is power. So you on my power right now. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole other thing that you bumping against my butt. Like that's different.
You got my wheels. You got my wheels turning now though.
If you smack an ass or grab an ass, that's like an instant it's boom there. But to go for the whole penis, you gotta go down a little bit kind of goes out under.
Yeah.
You got to reach for it.
Well, depending on where you sit it at. Hold on.
Yeah, but that's true though. Like you got to really think about if you're going for the penis. Ass is very simple because most times the ass is already out there.
Yeah. Right. And a butt tap is almost like flirting.
Yeah.
Like I said that earlier, that's a flirt. But if you grab somebody's junk, that's just you don't bypass everything. We're not even on the dance floor. You already in the bedroom at this point.
Yeah.
You know, that's
and there are some people that are attracted to that boldness. Because I've seen people just walk up and do it and it was warranted, whether it wasn't warranted, it's just the fact that you were bold enough to do it made you attractive to some people. I think this comment is pertinent. You know, sportsmen pat each other on the butt, different contexts though. But the reality is that it's socially acceptable, even if it's in this context.
Yeah.
So it's easier to say, okay, you know, I'll accept you pat me on the ass because I've watched baseball players or basketball players or football players do it all the time, and it's okay. But you know, I don't see them grinding or grabbing on each other's penis.
I just thought about something though. Have you ever watched an international soccer match? They touch each other in the junk all the time.
They do.
They do.
Especially Europeans, they do that all the time.
There's a whole IG page dedicated. Never mind, I'm talking about.
You telling them?
And a Twitter page.
I'm sorry, my bad. What's the next topic?
But I also guess it's now at what point are you doing this too? Because it's like if you guys are kind of dancing together and it gets hard, I mean, at that point, you know, I may feel like that's a clear space.
That's completely different. If you walk up to someone in the club and you just reach out and grab their dick, like, let me touch somebody's hand, that's a whole different concept. That is whole different. Definitely.
All right. All right, gentlemen. Let's go to the next topic. Too much. What's considered freaky these days when it is casual to spit in a nigga's mouth?
Whoa, hey, I'm out. All right.
First of all, who said that was casual?
Whoa. My God, today.
What?
Did you get high?
Not in the way you might think. No.
Oh, okay. All right. Aaron, I feel like you have some context for this because you're laughing. So go ahead and tell us what.
I'm laughing at y'all's reaction. First of all, you know you're not spitting on me. Period. That is not my ministry. So you spit on me. That is not even freaky to me. Now I feel sexually harassed. 911.
No. And who said this was casual? I want to meet this person. What?
I don't.
What?
Hold on. Okay. Let me read this again.
I'm good.
I have shared my personal experience with someone spatting on me, and I am not a fan by no means.
In what context are we doing the spit though?
See, it's always one person. It's always one.
No, I'm being honest. Like, is it like to touch up back there, or is it like, are you really just?
No, it says in his mouth.
In the mouth. That's what it says.
Yeah, no. That's a hard no for me.
Yeah.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry to this man.
No, I'm not sorry. No. I don't get it. Baby, y'all gotta stop watching all this extra porn. I just, you know.
And let's be clear, because you know words matter. He said you gotta stop watching all this extra porn, not watching porn, but you just gotta stop watching.
Find some regular, obtainable stuff. I counsel with people like that all the time. You know, we talk. You know, like, what do you expect to happen in the bedroom? You cannot go off the crap you see in porn. Like you. First of all, you can't keep up with that on a regular basis. Secondly, well, that's a whole nother thing. But you can't keep up with the porn people. I don't do that. No, not in this house.
Listen, they are professionals.
But you have to realize that a lot of us learn sex as gay men through porn. So
true. But we have to teach this. So Ramel and I have like 12, I think we're on 13 sons that we mentor, right? And like one and a half grandchildren. I say a half, he'll know why. But this half one, I had to talk to him about lube. Now he knew about condoms and all about this, but they're walking around now not even using lube. Like spit is the lube, and they don't even try. I'm like, are you kidding me now? It's like, well, Papa, I just buy the condoms. They're like, you hurting people? Are you serious? You get that? So spit is not enough. You can spit on it if you want, but I'm gonna need you to get some lube.
This high pitched register that you responded in, I want you to respond to everything else like that for the rest of the show.
What are you?
Because that is hilarious.
I sing everything from bass to first alto, so you know.
Yeah.
Not to be the devil's advocate.
See,
sure. Don't make me claim some oil at you.
I'm just because what he said was kind of threw me back to this question, and I'm just thinking, if is spit in the mouth so bad compared to what else goes in that mouth?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Like, I mean, you're already kissing, you're already swapping spit as it is, and then to finish up the deed.
I put it in your mouth.
Yeah, I agree. It's a mental thing. I agree that it's a mental thing.
Okay.
But we have given spitting on each other is somehow degrading. Society made it degrading. So, but you're absolutely right. Yeah. But you still ain't spitting in my mouth. But you know what I mean?
I'm just thinking, like, if you can't hawk back and then spit, that's gonna cause a problem. You can't.
I can spit in your mouth. I can put my dick in your mouth, but you don't want me to spit in it. It's a valid point. It's a valid point.
Or you can come in my. I'll let you come in my mouth. And
right.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, is spit so far off compared to what else we're doing?
It's a societal thing.
Yeah. So let me give you some context, Easy, in terms of my experience, where it was not warranted, nor was it made known that was what was about to happen either. Okay. So when basically, I've told the story before. I've told the story on the podcast before. So this dude that I had known for a while, I won't say where he is, and I won't say who he is. We finally had the opportunity to connect. We connected, and we get back to my hotel room, and things start getting a little hot and heavy, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm into this. I was ready. We were prepared. We fit to do it. And we're getting into the swing of things, and he kisses me and then rears back and then spits in my mouth. And I was not, there was no, hey, I'm about to spit in your mouth. Hey, there was nothing that would have led me to believe that was the next thing that was about to happen. So it completely turned me off from the entire experience after that. Like I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, like no. So I think that the context helps in terms of, if you're going to spit in somebody's mouth, make sure that you at least, ask them if that's something that they're into before you. Yeah. Or even if that's the energy that it's giving, because nothing I did said spit in my mouth. Mm-hmm. There was nothing that happened that said, oh, I should spit in Dwayne's mouth.
And that's what I want to know. It's like, what about me gave you the green light to say that was okay? Because whatever it is, I want to stop doing it.
I'm a little amazed that he was able to do that. Just to lean back and spit in your mouth. Like, nigga got aim.
So maybe dude got it right.
Like you do this
casual than we think it is.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, SoDebNair?
I think like when you're having oral sex, though, you understand that at some point this is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That this is going to come out of this dick at some point.
So you're
making a choice, though. You're making a choice to be there to receive that, though.
Well, I mean, y'all already know I don't really suck dick on like that. So I suck it enough to the point where I know you're not gonna come in my mouth.
But that's too bad.
I think the next question need to be the next question.
But if I'm sucking it for a long period of time, I know eventually something's gonna come out into my mouth. Spit is not like that. It's not like I'm kissing you enough for the spit to eventually come out into
but you're still a spit form. To be there for it, though.
I don't know if that's true.
How is it not true?
Because there's nothing like I've had sex a lot of times. I didn't get spit was not in my. No one spit in my mouth.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're still making a choice to be there to receive the cum.
Right. That's what. I'm saying when you're sucking dick, like that's different because you know cum's going to come eventually.
Yeah,
But
so you're
spitting
making
is
a
like
choice.
unexpected.
You're making a
You
choice
mean-
to
yeah,
stay there for
spitting,
it.
like spitting, you made a decision to spit in my mouth. Like you actually thought about this and then did it.
And then
So-
but then you know that I'm not anticipating. But doing the other thing, I can anticipate if I keep doing this,
Right.
what's going to happen.
Right.
It's
Okay.
totally different. Totally different.
And you're going to make some kind of notion or noise that this is about to happen. You're going to erupt it. There's some kind of moan, some
not
kind of grunt.
Not
I mean,
always.
Not always.
But you can feel it. Like if you can feel it when
Not
it's getting ready to
always.
start coming.
Not
I don't know
always.
what dick y'all sucking.
Every dick ain't the same.
I found out the hard way. The first time I ever gave a dude head, I found out the hard way, and I was like, "Oh wait, what the fuck? Why you ain't warn me?"
I didn't. You know what? I'm with you. I found out the hard way too. I didn't know what had happened. Like, did you hit me in the back? What the fuck was that? Like,
y'all just letting people shoot up the club and with no warning.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be next subject. Next topic.
Please.
I love when Easy gets flustered. We need to go to the next topic because he can stay on one topic and certain topics for days and hours in some cases. Let's go to the next topic. Let's see what we got. Here we are. All right. Masculine bottoms can get dick, but feminine tops can't get ass. Fact or myth?
Oh
I
shit!
think that's changing. I know that it's changing.
Have you taken a poll of the?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
masculine?
so when unfortunately, I have to miss like every other live from you guys because we have a Zoom room for guys on the second and fourth Thursdays. So we talked about this, but I also, people that I mentor or counsel with or talk to and all that kind of stuff. It's changing. Like the spectrum is changing, totally. And the more we get it stuck in our heads and to understand, like you cannot categorize. And the guys that you think are big and buff and they got a deep voice and they're in the gym every day and they look like they just dump you up. I got this one friend who's expressively effeminate. He just gonna cut me up in little pieces and throw me in the trash can. I'm like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but actually, but when you find out that he wants you to cut him up into little pieces and throw him in the trash can, I love it. I think that our worlds would revolve so much better if we stop trying to do this top bottom masculine femme thing and realize that it's a blurred line. I also think that verse people get a bad rep, but verse people are some of the first people y'all go for. So, because you get the best of both worlds. Yeah, we need to stop all that. Stop it. And then and the dating pool goes down. Everybody that's still trying to look for the B-boy top look, again, look like he's gonna beat you in the face and put you in the trash can. That look. First of all, we all know that was a facade because most of the time when you got half of them to the bedroom, their legs went up in a V before yours did. So we know it's all a facade. So we got to get away from this. We have got to get away from this. And then the feminine thing. I mean, I know some drag queens that'll beat you down to the floor. So come on. I don't want it, but we got to start categorizing each other. And you want to find out what's going on. Hey, how can we link up? And if we can't link up, then we can't. But to keep putting guys
in be bros though.
Say what you say?
You can be bros though.
Yeah.
I mean, I might look at it. I'll play with it, but we can't. We not be together. But.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think there's nothing wrong with a feminine top at all.
No, not at all.
Actually, the last guy that I dated was a feminine top.
Most feminine tops have also experienced being a bottom, so they actually have a clue about being a top because they know the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs. And actually they make better tops in a lot of cases because most like your hardcore 100% never bottomed in my life tops, if you don't guide them the right way or give them the right instructions, they mess you up or mess up the experience. So
that's why you didn't get Monday off and then wait till Tuesday.
Exactly. You got to sit in the bath of Epsom salt and hot water to get the light.
Okay. Anybody else on the myth, fact, fiction?
I think it's a fact.
I think
And it's crazy because
You think it's fact?
Lamar and I had the conversation recently, and the question was, would you let, and I was just like, looking at them, hearing that, they may be a top or that they are a top, but me physically seeing with my own eyes the feminine side to him, I was like, yeah, no. That's a hard no.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Not me either, because you can't get on my back carrying a purse. That's not gonna work. But the fact that they exist is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a myth, and I do think that there are plenty of feminine tops out there that get it. I mean, okay, go back to porn. Chicks with dicks. I mean, do you know how huge that is? So that's like a whole other genre of us and porn, and it is very popular. It's just very quiet because it's not the societal norm for us. But yeah, it's plenty of masculine dudes out there getting like we say in the South, you getting your duke done. They getting it done. So,
I have not heard that phrase.
exactly, but I just turned 47, so come on now.
I mean, let's be clear. Some of your favorite media people are chicks with dicks. So,
Think
we'll
about
just leave that at that.
Think about Hot Rod. I mean, he was a feminine bottom the entire time he was having sex, but he was topping everybody.
Yeah, and still,
That's true.
yeah.
True. Now he sings soprano.
After he stopped doing porn.
Let's go to the last topic. Oh my. Last topic, and it has some context to it, but I'll read the question for you. What would you do if you logged on to Freak Twitter and saw yourself sucking dick?
Okay. Now,
here's the context. So I'm on Freak Twitter browsing through other people's pages. There's this particular video where one dude was giving the other dude head. I hear the guy that's being recorded literally ask, "Who are you going to show this video to?" And the other dude was like, "Nobody." And here we are today, where the video has gone viral. What would you do if you logged on to Freak Twitter and seen yourself sucking dick?
So there was a situation. I never saw the video. I've heard about the video, but there's a situation back in like 2009 where I was giving this guy head. We were like teenagers, so we was probably before 2009. We were teenagers. I was giving a guy head in his bedroom. Had no fucking clue that he had a camera on the nightstand recording the entire thing.
Oh.
Fast forward a year and a half later, I'm out with a group of guys, and this new guy walk over. He was like, "Oh, I know you." Nah, bro, I don't know you. Yes,
no, girl.
I know you. He's like, "I know those lips."
Oh.
So now I'm sitting there like, I'm thinking he's just, being playful. He's just trying to spark up a conversation. He said, "No, you was giving a dude head with the blue background." Lost it. Apparently, this video was on, what was it, X2 for the longest time. I have searched and searched for this video. So, like, you got to be mindful when you're in the act of doing the do. Be mindful about people's cameras and their phones and stuff like that, because that was not cool. When I say that was embarrassing.
Were you still in touch with the guy?
No. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen them since that conversation.
Aaron, are we just hearing this story?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna talk about this in the group. Okay.
Yes, where's Phil at? Because we need to have a group conversation.
Right.
My.
I have nothing to say to top that other than the fact that I try not to put myself in these compromising situations. I mean, again, married for 8 years, but even before I met Ramel, I really was like a so your husband didn't know this either? Do we need to take a road trip?
I was a teenager, listen, a long time ago.
Even before I met Ramel, I was a big tease. I won't lie, I was a big tease. But I was scared. Like I would hear all these horror stories about guys getting beat up or raped or whatever. So like random stuff really didn't do it for me. Like I was afraid of that. So yeah, but I don't know. I could go. I'm married to my husband. We could walk into the bedroom right now. He could say, "Let me videotape." I'm like, "Bitch, no." no. I don't do recordings. We have seen what that does. So no, I don't even want my own recording. So,
I didn't even know you can actually search that though.
Nah, I'm not.
I didn't know that was searchable. I learned that recently.
Yeah. Easy. SoDebNair.
Aaron, how many videos you got out there?
Who knows?
A plethora.
Catalog.
Aaron is the only reason I've even seen Freak Twitter because I don't. I mean, I'm not into. Not really. I'm not into that. And not there's anything wrong with it. I just, I'm not. But they be like, you seen your brother? I'm like, what? I mean, here we are 2 years later, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he probably got a new one by now. I don't know. So, and Aaron's my only connection to Freak Twitter, so I would never see anything. So I don't know.
Before we started this podcast, I remember going through Freak Twitter and I saw, I mean, if you friends with somebody, you at least know their aesthetic, right? You just think, okay, you shape like this a little bit. I might not have seen you naked, but at least I know your shape. And so I'm scrolling and I look and I said, Aaron, is that your ass on Freak Twitter?
So there is a new one.
I text him the video and I was like, is this your ass? Like, but how many times have we watched videos on Freak Twitter, Damien and excluded because he's not into that. However, how many times have you watched videos on like Freak Twitter or porn where it was somebody and you didn't know that that's what they did?
Countless
you didn't
times.
know that they were into, have you come across a video of somebody and be like, oh my God, that's so-and-so, like, I want to turn it off, but I want to keep watching.
I don't even think I should even comment on that. I gagged. I was like, oh. Like you get the build up in other platforms, and when you see the real deal, it's like, oh.
No, Aaron, you all right over there? You got quiet?
I'm good.
Okay. Easy, anything to say?
We need a whole other brothers conversation.
I mean,
where's Phil? Okay.
I'm good. I'm like Damien. I do very, very.
Yeah.
I walk on a very thin line to make sure that I'm never even in that type of situation. So yeah. And then, of course, we've all seen our friends and shit go down.
Yeah.
So, I do a right click and save, and then I send it to them. But
I'm still having palpitations with the dude that was in his daddy's pulpit giving the guy head. That still makes my nerve. Oh wow!
Can people stop that? Can y'all stop having sex in church?
That makes my nerve.
I have never. Ever.
Why is that?
I have never.
Me either.
No.
When that video came out and like everyone was talking about it on every social media platform, and there were so many people that were like, "Oh, you ain't never had sex in church?"
And I'm like, "No, you did."
No.
Oh yeah, in the fellowship hall or in the bathroom down in the basement, and I'm looking like, "Are you serious?"
And I'm like, and I'm with you. I'm sitting there thinking the church is going on because ain't none of y'all got no keys to the church. So something had to be going on at church for you to be there.
Exactly.
Choir night, choir rehearsal, Bible study.
Oh my
Some
God.
overnights.
Youth and young ministry meeting.
Yeah.
Listen, Listen, these babies said, y'all gonna have me here every day of the week. I'm gonna do something.
No. We gotta cut the line somewhere.
That's wow. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
I've heard it a lot. I've heard a lot of people who have said that they have had some type of sexual relationship with somebody else in a church, whether it was giving head, receiving head, or full out fucking. And I'm just like, no. Because I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, God is watching. Like, I'm just not.
Right.
Like, you in his house. He lives here.
Now, you know he watches you while you're at your own home, too.
Right.
Well,
but it is.
But I mean, talking about in the church house, though.
No, he may be doing something else while I'm doing what I'm doing at home. But I know for a fact, if it's happening in church, he's watching.
Listen, you told God, if you do it in his house, he live here. But if you do it in my house, he may or may not be here at the time.
Yes.
But you know what though? There are people who out here who enjoy having sex in places like that. Like there are people who have sex in cemeteries.
I don't get it.
And I'm just like, why?
I can't do it.
Like you could have got like $100 room somewhere at a motel, and you decided to go to the cemetery.
Yeah, I guess because it was free. I don't know.
I guess because it was free.
You know how you say you're not gonna judge. I'm sorry. I'm
judging.
I'm with you. I'm judging you. If you're out here having sex in churches or in the cemeteries or outside in the public parking lots and
wait,
shit,
pause. Public parking lot. There's nothing wrong with a public parking lot. Listen, there is nothing wrong with a public parking lot.
I have done that.
Not at all.
Lamar?
In my heydays, my mama wasn't letting me do nothing in the house. So it was either in the parking lot of the apartment complex or the parking lot of the gas station. I had to pick one.
Yeah. That means you weren't supposed to be having sex.
No, it meant he lived at home with his mama and he didn't have his own place.
That means you ain't supposed to be having sex.
I'm gonna give you that. Because I'm not gonna say that in my younger days that I didn't see the inside of a car, but I mean like it's today's society. But the people that are out doing these things now, they're grown, got their own place, a place in the Bahamas. You know they got all of this stuff. They're just doing it for the thrill of it.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
And getting caught. I see one more video. If I see one more video with a police officer running up on somebody with a camera on the ground, we gonna have a problem.
And isn't that a felony? Depending on where you are.
Are y'all not
usually down in Atlanta?
Well, I don't think everybody knows that because I'm gonna tell you this. Me and Dwayne had talked about this on the podcast before. That you can catch a charge for this because I did not know you could be registered. Well, I mean, I don't do it now as like a 30-year-old.
Where you come from? You said you were logging off.
And Lamar said we grown. Okay, y'all grown. All right.
But as a younger person, I didn't know you could catch.
If I catch you and Lamar in a parking lot on a video on Twitter or something, I'm walking to that.
I'm trying to get him to. Like, let's reinvent this wheel. Like, let's do it. But no, Aaron, yes, you can catch a charge. Why did you not know that you can catch a charge?
How you not know
that? That's what I'm saying.
Again, I was in my early 19 and 20s at the time when I was
doing
this. I didn't know that.
No. But
I wasn't.
I had sex everywhere before that. I didn't know.
We were in the cut somewhere on the back road with the lights off, outside and inside. You know, back then you had to turn the car off, put the emergency brake on, and then start it back up so the daytime running lights wouldn't come on. No, but see, if you outside I seen the video, and they were in like a stairwell. And the cop climbed down the steps and was like, "What's going down here?" or something like,
He was like, "Come on, man." He was like, "Come on, man."
And they laughing while he bent over still, pulling up his pants, and I'm just sitting here like, "Yeah, y'all should go to jail."
Stupid.
And I remember that video too, because even when they got in the car, they was like, "We should have just did this at the hotel."
Right. Yeah.
So y'all had a whole hotel.
But the cop was so disappointed. He was like, "Come on, man! Like y'all couldn't have done this somewhere." Like he was like so disappointed in them, and then they laughed. Yeah.
He was just trying to write that up.
You could tell he was so disappointed. Like seriously, guys, like this is what y'all decided to do.
First of all, that was like that was a building structure that hadn't been finished
You
yet.
could
Like
tell.
you giving head on concrete. That you got strong
Your
ass knees to be giving head
I
on
don't
concrete.
knees
Oh,
on the concrete.
I don't understand.
Your knees
Well,
are
wait.
set up
I
differently.
got this
Oh, I
video
don't
on my
understand.
phone right now. Let me.
Well, wait. What about the guys that are doing this on in the bathrooms, like in the public bathrooms, and they hands and knees is on the actual
Oh.
floor?
That's
The
dirty.
people are.
Pause. There's no way.
No,
That's
Right
dirty.
I would
on the
never.
mm-mm.
that you would catch me.
You can get a
On the
staph
floor in the
infection
bathroom.
or anything from
No,
that.
I'm not doing that. First of
No.
all, I'm older now. My back ain't even want to bend like this.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Listen,
I don't
that's
care
not even
how-
an option.
I don't
They
care
don't get
how
no
handicapped
idea.
the handicap bathroom is. Like it's still not enough space.
Well, if you're in a handicap bathroom,
What if you're holding it up for somebody handicapped? That's a problem.
if you're in a handicap bathroom,
Mm-mm.
man, we might be able to work something out. But if you talking about those little narrow ass, Dwayne, no, those little narrow ass.
Dude,
Dwayne, no.
The floor.
Not like that. Not like that. But you know those airport stalls that's real narrow. Like, what the hell? No.
Shots were fired.
Now, Dwayne, I don't understand how people get away with an airport. There's so much traffic in the airport. How are they
There's
doing
so much traffic in the airport. It's honestly, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I have caught, Lord Jesus, I have caught people like doing red eye flights. I've caught people trying to have whole situations under blankets when we used to get blankets out. And I just be like, look, like, listen, I respect you, but you're going to have to chill out because this is not.
But the
You
Mile High
can't.
Club is still a thing. It will not go away.
Well, it certainly should. Not on my watch.
Okay, so I can see for a straight couple, them saying, "Oh yeah, we did this, that, and third." But for a gay couple, how?
That's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
That's a lot of
Oh,
work.
And
now I will.
must have came home. You left out the house prepared.
I will say
Yeah,
this.
that was the plan when
a
they left.
video. There was a video that was circulated I think this was last year, where a Delta flight attendant was getting busy in an airplane restroom with a porn star. And where he fucked up was, first of all, our uniforms are extremely distinct. You see the purple, you see the gray, you already know who they are. But then it was even worse because his badge was in the camera.
So you're just an idiot.
Yeah.
So
He was too excited when he saw that porn star.
That's what it was. So he was allegedly, I have to do my Wendy Williams allegedly. He was allegedly like non-revving, which means he was riding, but he was in his uniform, and he saw the porn star when he came on the aircraft, allegedly, and he messaged him on one of the apps in the air, which prompted the conversation, and they went into the restroom. Now, my question is, where was the working crew?
Right.
Where was the working crew when all of this was going on? And nobody observed that these two men try to squeeze themselves in this small ass bathroom.
And the porn star was a big dude.
He's tall. The porn star is
Tall
like 6'3", 6'4". So,
And then
I am
in today's society, you knew he had, as a porn star, he was going to put that out on his Twitter page or something.
He sat there and recorded the whole thing. Like you said, it's a small space. So he's there with the camera. Like this.
over his head on the ledge.
So is this where we could say that he actually was stigmatized? Is this one of those moments? Apparently.
You lost all common sense.
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 Like you risked your whole job for this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Justin, wait. In the crew room? Ooh.
That's crazy. No,
now,
Justin probably reported them. Did you report them, Justin?
He probably did, knowing Justin. Knowing Justin, he was like, no. We're not gonna have this. I'm gonna
do this.
And I always think about, like, what do you do with all the extra stuff that comes, that follows? Like, I always think,
that's what BJ said. It's too much work.
Like, it's just anything could go wrong. Anything could go wrong.
Like, as bad as I want to be on a plane, sorry, babe. As bad as I want to be on a plane, I want to start giving them a hand job. In my mind, I'm thinking,
Everybody's watching.
She is gonna walk. Somebody's gonna walk by. He or she gonna walk by, or the person behind gonna see what's going on. Like it's just so many different things.
Yes.
And
then you
video and taping you in between the two seats.
So that would prompt me to really want to do it for real.
No.
And what if you don't know if what if he end up being a shooter and that thing shoot all the way over into row B?
As he is.
Or hit some kid in the top of the head or something.
Yes, like I'm just saying, you never know.
Babe, we going to Atlanta. We're gonna try this on our way to Atlanta in 2 weeks.
Lamar, I will not be held responsible for anything that transpires outside of the situation.
Are not responsible for.
No, we're gonna have to put a disclaimer out there. Lastly, the interesting thing is that the same conversation that we were having in regards to he said lies you tell.
Let me just say, his facial expression in his profile picture matches every one of his comments. Like,
Babe,
I have a good job.
That is his life. I go to Lamar's page for a laugh. I'm telling you.
Oh yes. My favorite is when he takes pictures of, because he likes to fly American Airlines, so he takes the pictures of the American Airlines flight attendants and be like, "Why?" I'm like, "That's why you fly American. I mean, that's what you get." The same conversation with what was the latest Twitter issue, SoDebNair, with Mr. Bolden and
oh Jesus, don't talk about my friend.
I know what you're talking about.
I know. You want me to talk about it? No shit.
What happened?
Yeah, easy, go ahead.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
that's his boo. That's his book.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That man is in a full-blown relationship. Don't do that.
Is that the one who got that?
He's just. Is it
the one who just got a boyfriend?
Yes.
Is that the? Okay. Yeah.
Dickie Von Jones.
Yeah.
So
but what happened?
He I will say this. Basically, him and Mr. What's the other guy's name? Jay Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So him and Jay Knight knew each other in a past life. They recorded the situation. I'm paraphrasing. Jay Knight released the recording of their interaction together without Mr. Bolden's consent, and Mr. Bolden was bottoming. So,
he doesn't generally bottom or something.
He doesn't bottom on camera.
Oh.
No. I will say that I respect Mr. Bolden and the statement that he put out in regards to the situation. I think it was very tasteful. I think it was very respectable. I think it explained the situation, even though he didn't owe anybody an explanation for that matter. But that goes back to the last topic of being recorded without your consent, or being recorded with your consent and it being released. Just taking into consideration, if you're being recorded, even though the person said they would never release it, it still has the propensity to be released.
Listen, if they just waiver when he get ready to start recording me, like, you got your camera on, sign this document for me.
Man, as soon as I'm putting my clothes on. This is fun.
Yeah,
that's why I do stuff at my house though, because I don't really know if I'm walking to the house, if it's camera crew in the closet, in the bath. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to walk into the studio. It's like lights, camera, action, and lights come on. Now I'm getting fucked, and I done signed some shit I didn't even know I signed in the text messages. Like, I don't want that to happen.
What?
Aaron, I think you got a video on OnlyFans. I gotta go back.
I don't have no video on OnlyFans at all. I do not.
He better not.
Yes, it's not out there yet. It's coming soon.
Anytime I've ever recorded anything, it's been on my phone, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm perfectly fine with the fashions that I am wearing.
And that's all right. What Mary had a little lamb.
All right. Well, gentlemen, it has been a great show. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you all for
having us.
Yeah, it's good to see y'all's faces. And glad you're doing well in this pandemic and everything they're in.
Yes.
Damien, where can people find you? Give your handles and all of your information.
So for Instagram and Twitter, it is DAFIRSTG. So the first G. I am sparingly on there. I don't go on to Twitter until Aaron does something. So I mean,
and he's been on hiatus, so you've been real lonely.
I have, my page is
really. Oh, y'all know I deleted the other page, right? It's gone.
Yeah, I know. I mean his regular.
Oh, my real page. Okay.
Yeah, his real page. I follow SoDebNair. But it's the first G, DAFIR. And then as my name is on the screen, you can find me there on Facebook. So.
All right. Him and his husband have a lovely ministry. If you're looking for somewhere to go, amen.
Yeah, if you're looking for somewhere to go, you need something to donate to. It is $PWMIN. So, just kidding.
I can't. Mr. B, where can people find you if you want them to find you for that matter?
You can actually find me on Instagram by searching my name as you see it below. And on Facebook as Brandon Hickson Hamilton. I'm the only Hickson Hamilton, one of two Hickson Hamiltons in the world. So search Hickson Hamilton and you'll find us.
H2.
I just followed you both.
We're Googleable.
Out of the two of us, BJ's husband is a lot crazier than mine, so don't be sliding his. Ramel and I
listen.
But
listen, I'm gonna make this disclaimer for my brother Lamar. Slide in Brandon's DMs if you want to, and you will get a rude awakening here. Rude.
Listen. And he got frequent flyer miles too.
He will come to your house.
Baby.
You better not do it.
I was someone inboxed me something. I do want to say this right quick. Somebody asked me. That's my brother right there. Do we have those issues where people accost us or whatever? It was kind of spinning off of my question, like if somebody touched your butt or whatever. I didn't bring it up earlier, but I'll be honest with you. From the beginning that Ramel and I came out together as a couple, there was just as much disrespect as there was in people that respected us. So the inbox messages, DMs, what do you want to call it? He probably still gets some. People love that pastor thing. We laugh and we don't even tell each other about it no more. It's like, oh, okay, the foolishness. So yeah, it's that kind of world. So and that's another reason, if you're not prepared for the disrespect, don't try it. So because it does come up. Yeah.
And this is not coming from newly, coupled pastors and first G's. This is coming from years of marriage. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
This is not a fly by night, somebody that picked up at the club and now they want to make them their first G. But we're not going to talk about those kind of people. Easy, SoDebNair. SoDebNair, you want to close us out, give us all the information that we need because you do it so well.
Yes, guys, make sure, again, if you like this broadcast, make sure if you're on YouTube, again, like the broadcast, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, comment below, let us know what you guys think. If you look below, we have everything, all the links to all of our personal stuff. If you want to join the EzSaidEzDone group, the link is down in the YouTube channel as well. Swank Arts is down there. My YouTube channel is down there as well. If you guys want to check out our website, it's SoDebNair.com at this point. And I think that's pretty much it.
All right. We will see you same time next Thursday, 8 p.m. You can find us, get your good girlfriends, grab you a drink, and join the Affairs of the Heart podcast. We are out, gentlemen. Good night.